events, basically who hosts these events. So a lot of times your local realtor board will host events. You will have investor meetups, local government and also private organizations, chambers of commerce, urban league, other different veteran organizations, community development organizations, all of these different types of groups will have these different type of networking opportunities. Sometimes people will ask you to go. Sometimes you can just sign up on your own to go. In order, again, to make the most of it, write these things down before you even decide whether or not you're going or not. Number one, you need to know who is the facilitator, who's having the event, right? Number two, you need to know what's the purpose. Why are they having the event? What is the purpose of the event? Number three, who's going to be at the event? Who is the audience? So who's having it? Why are they having it? What's the purpose of it? And then who's going to be there? Who's the audience? Finally, you want to know, is this a paid or a free event? This is one that I didn't know early on in my career, just as speaking and as presenting, and it matters, right? So when somebody asks you to come to an event, or when you're considering showing up to an event, these are just some of the questions straight off the bat. Oh, okay, so who's having an event? Whose event is it? It's this company's. Oh, okay. What's the purpose? Are they raising money for something? Are they trying to get some type of awareness out? Okay, do people have to pay to come? No, it's a free event. Okay, who are they targeting, right? Do they, who do they want to be in the audience? All of this information up front will help you determine how you prepare and then show up for the event, okay? So that is the event info. Who's the facilitator? What's the purpose? Paid or free? And then what's the audience? Okay. The second thing, again, before you even go, I haven't even gotten into once you go to the event or once you show up. The second thing is what are your goals? Why are you even considering going? A lot of times when people have new businesses, especially new businesses, they feel like I need to be at all of these events because nobody knows who I am or about my business. And so any opportunity is a good opportunity to, showcase my brand or my business. And I understand that perspective, but that's not sustainable. Moving like that is not sustainable. So you have to be, again, ahead of before the event, you have to be strategic. So what are my goals? What is my reason for even considering going to this event? There's three main goals that you will have or that you should look for when you're considering going to these events. Now, some events you may hit all three goals, or some just maybe one, or whatever the case may be. But number one, what you should consider is as far as your goals is building relationships. Will this event or this opportunity help me to build important relationships? Again, this is not a social event, so I don't care who these people are, if they have big followings or whatever the case may be. Can knowing this person and being in relationship with this person help me and my business, basically help increase my bottom line? If so, then yeah, I need to think about being in the building. Number two, brand awareness, like I was just mentioning before, is being at this event and however it is set up, whatever the format is that going to expose my business and my brand to a greater number of people that I am not already in contact with or in touch with? So a lot of times you'll hear this as being termed as cross marketing, right? So I may do an event with a realtor that a realtor has been talking to strictly home buyers, right? Well, I've been talking strictly to realtors. So by going to and participating in that realtor's event, we're now cross marketing all of my realtors that I've been speaking to, and then all of for their home buyers, we get to basically cross market each other's audience, right? So generating brand awareness. And then number three, and most important, is increased revenue. Again, do not get caught up in shiny object syndrome. Oh, this is a popular person. This is a popular event. It's going to be at this place. I could post pictures of it on Instagram. At the end of the day, you're a business owner and you have to make decisions that directly support your goal of increasing your revenue. Give me a 1 in the chat if you feel what I'm talking about. Nowadays, it has gotten so common to go to things that are quote unquote popular. whether or not they will allow you to build impactful, meaningful, profitable relationships, whether or not you will actually get to be in front of the right audience, right? Every audience is not the right audience. If I'm an investor and an inspector and I'm talking about houses and construction and all that kind of stuff, that's not the right. If there's a crypto event, that's not the right audience, right? Nobody going to a crypto event wants to hear about me talking about houses. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that it's the right situation for you based upon your goals that will allow you to move the needle forward in your business. Okay. So this is all before we decide to even show up at the event. Okay. So now we have the information for the event. We know what our goal is, or what we want to accomplish when we show up to the event. So now what do we say once we get to the event? It's super important to do that upfront work, because what you say will depend on that information, and it will be hard to craft the right thing to say in the right positioning if you don't already know that information. So the first thing is your introduction, right? When you go to these types of events, you're probably going to be meeting and interacting with a lot of people. You need a strong introduction. People's attention spans are super short. So you need to be able to quickly tell somebody who you are, what you do, where you service. Okay. So hi, my name is Nita. I'm a home inspector. I do home inspections in the greater Cleveland area. Boom. Right. And then we can move on from there, whether you're standing behind a table and people are coming up to you, whether you're out in the crowd, go up to somebody. Hi, my name is Nita. I'm a home inspector in the Cleveland area. Nice to meet you. What do you do? Boom. And we can start a conversation that way. So you've got to have your introduction. How are you going to quickly, again, let somebody know who you are, what you do, and where is it at? Why does it matter? Number two is your USP, or your unique selling proposition. You should remember this from your business plan, right? Why should there are a million other home inspectors? Not a billion, but there are other home inspectors that somebody could choose. Why should they choose you? Why should they pick your company? Why should they do business for you, with you? This is your USP. What's going to make the consumer or the person choose you over the competition? When you're at these events, you need to clearly convey, hey, listen, I know that there are other home inspectors and you might even be doing business with them right now, but here's what I have going on, and here's why you should think about using me, right? Whatever that is. Hey, I provide you aerial footage of the home. Hey, this is a veteran-owned home inspection company. Hey, we you specifically help first-time home buyers. Whatever your unique thing is that would make a consumer choose you over the competition and remember you after they leave this event. Okay. And then number three, your overview of services. Again, depending upon the format of the event, it may look differently how you express this. You may have to have flyers. You may have a poster, some sort of banner. You may be handing out something. You may have, a QR code or a link or something that sends somebody somewhere else. But you want to let people know, again, what services what products or services that you provide that speak to them specifically. This is where, again, knowing your audience. If I'm talking to a group of realtors or I'm talking to a group of home buyers, my messaging is going to be different because those two groups have different needs. So if I'm talking to a group of realtors, I'm basically, again, trying to let them know why they should think about referring me over the person that they're used to using. And I'm giving them an overview of my services, again, highlighting how I could specifically help them. Okay. So your offer, your positioning, the services and the way that you explain them are going to be different based upon who you're actually talking to. Okay. The next thing is after what do you say is what do you do? What are we going to be doing at these events, at these functions? And again, all of this depends on the format and how everything shakes out. But number one, you should have in mind some sort of activity or demonstration that could sort of serve as kind of like an icebreaker, also providing value. But ultimately what it does is it positions you as a subject matter expert, right? So what can, again, if I'm speaking to a group of home buyers, right? Let's say, we split up in groups and I have them tell me what they think the top 3 things that go wrong with homes or whatever it is, some sort of something, or I show them how I can, check receptacles and how I could, check for moisture intrusion with my moisture meter, or how I can determine if surfaces are level or something, again, that is going to provide, that is going to include the participant as well as provide value. This will position you as a subject matter expert, right? These events, most people typically do the same thing and it's boring, it's a freaking drab. Everybody wants you to come to their table, they're gonna hand you a pen. It's like you want to do something that will have people leaving the event still thinking about you, still sharing with their friends. Hey, I was at this event and there was this home inspector there and they did this, and whatever the case may be. Okay. So the second thing is share specialized knowledge. What I mean by this is there's some knowledge and information that you have as an inspector that most people don't have, right? And so what information can you share that's specific to the industry that a lot of people wouldn't know? This is another way to position you as a subject matter expert. In Atlanta, excuse me, when we had our graduation for IF2 and IF3, I had you guys to research your area and find out a fun fact about your area, so that this is where that specialized knowledge come in. What about ancillary services? What's going on with mold, with lead, with asbestos in your area? What are the common types of foundations and the issues that you see there? What are the different types of soil? What type of insulation or ventilation is required in your area, right? Or have there been any changes made to the standards? All of this is specialized information that most people would not know, but because again, you are the subject matter expert, you can give that to them, and that builds that know, like, and trust factor. People do business with people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. Okay. Finally, in exchange for this is something that you want to get in the habit of, just as a person, but especially as a business owner, giving a clear call to action, or CTA. CTA is a call to action. After I've provided you with this activity or demonstration, and after I've shared this specialized industry specific knowledge, I have an ask from you. So in exchange for doing that, this is what I want from you. This could look like text here, go click the link in my bio, visit this website, click this, or some clear call to action. So after you guys are done interacting and you've done whatever you want to do, what are the next steps? What do you want them to do next to keep the relationship and the synergy going? Now, again, this could look different because, you will again be in some situations where it'll be open networking, right? And you could freely go up to people and, start these conversations, and you can do an activity or a demonstration on a smaller scale or a larger scale as you need to. So that doesn't matter there. You could, be having a one-on-one conversation, sharing specialized knowledge, or you guys are in a group at a happy hour, having a glass of wine or whatever the case may be, sharing this special knowledge, or again, one-on-one conversation. At the end of that conversation, I'm going to ask you, hey, what's your mailing address? Hey, check out this way. I'm going to still give you some sort of clear call to action, so that, again, otherwise, what difference does it make if I've given you value, if I share specialized knowledge, if I don't basically give you next steps or follow-up steps for us to keep this thing going? Let me know. Give me a 1 in the chat if you feel where I'm coming from. Peace. What up, Sarah? Jax, Miss Jackie, peace to you. No questions yet? You are good? Más preguntas, sí o no? All right, so after what do you do, now let's start to talk about what do you bring? Like, what should you have with you in terms of preparing, right? So obviously there's the age-old business cards. I don't particularly care for business cards. I'm going to show you what I use as an alternative. And then there are also these rack cards, which are like the longer, more vertical, narrow cards. Sometimes they fold out into like a three-fold brochure, or sometimes, again, the rack card could just be front and back. So this is what I use instead of the business card. It's this Popple thing, right? So it's basically like a digital business card, and I have the band that I wear on my wrist. So anywhere I'm at, I could literally just put this up against your phone, and it will Bluetooth in some kind of way send you my profile, which has all my information, all my social sites, my website, how you could connect with me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what I like to use. I just think business cards are old and dated and nobody really uses them. And I just don't like it. I would prefer to do something like this. You guys know that I'm big on send out cards, right? So what I do is I have it set up to where I can collect your mailing address, because that's what I like to do as follow-up. I like to send cards. So if you're interested in something like this, you can literally just scan this QR code. It'll take you to the site. You can get like the little stickers to put on your phone. You can get a card. You can get a watch band. You can get a little bracelet. However you want to share the QR code, you can get it. You can get 20% off of whatever you purchase if you use that code. So this is, again, my alternative to business cards, because I just don't like them, and I just don't think that in most cases they are the most beneficial. So and other things that you would bring, your toolkit, again, very important to, as trying to position yourself as a subject matter expert. You want to show them what's going to, again, show, basically demoing your service, which is home inspection. So you're going to show them your drone. You're going to show them your tools, what you use, why you use it, what do you use it for, how does this matter? Again, all of these things are going to leave that person like, wow, this, she or he really knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. They're going to give my buyer a comprehensive inspection and a good experience. So bring your toolkit. Also, as I mentioned, your print collateral. So that's your business cards, postcards, rack cards, brochures, door hangers. I've seen door hangers used. I've never done them personally, but I've seen door hangers used, the little card you could clip on somebody's door. Also your apparel. So that's shirt, hat. I like ink pens. I don't like a lot of the little knickknacks, because again, I think that those are pointless, but people are always using pens. And if they could be using one with my company name on it, chances are they'll share it with somebody else. And you can get a 1,000 pens for like $30 or something like that. So I think that those are also something good that you could exchange and give to the consumers that are coming through. As far as digital, again, there's this situation, something like this, you could literally print this out and have people scanning. Hey, scan to connect. Hey, scan to connect. Hey, if you scan, I'm gonna add you into this drawing, and I'm giving away, $50 at Chick-fil-A or whatever the case may be. Get creative with this to make people engage with you. One thing that I see a lot of people doing wrong is just trying to make it so much about business. People want to know who you are. They want to see your personality. They want to know if they can relate to you or not. That's what they're making a decision on first. The business comes after that. Remember, I've got to like you. So even after I know you, I've got to like you, right? And I only can decide if I like you if you show me who you are, right? So don't be so stuffy, and be creative. And if you have a strategy, if you know that I'm going here strictly for the purpose of building relationships, right? You know, another issue that we do is we go wide. Don't go wide, go deep. You don't need to know 30, 40, 50 realtors. You can't even handle, if you were trying to market to 40 realtors and each one of those said, yeah, I'm gonna give you one inspection, you couldn't handle it as a one-person team. You don't need to go wide. You need to go deep. You need a group of 10 to 15 realtors who always call you first. How do I get that? Through building and maintaining the relationship. I won't have to keep going to these events and trying to drum up new business. If I focus on that, it only makes sense. We're in a reoccurring, this business is reoccurring. Every time that realtor gets a new client, likely they're going to become a customer of ours. So it makes sense for me to be posting my 10, 15 realtors who I've built these relationships with. Yeah, I'm promoting them. I'm posting them because I want people to see them, choose them as the realtor, and then they're going to turn around and refer me as the home inspector. Okay. So again, in terms of digital, this Popl situation, you can have lead magnets on iPads. You can have forms on iPads where people, again, can leave their information. Obviously, the QR codes, there will be some situations where you get to have a PowerPoint. That's why I created one for this, just the visual side of things. And I could have just talked this out to you, but seeing it visually will help. So if you're in that setting where they're going to say, we're going to give you, 10 minutes to present to this group of realtors, having a visual aid to visually tell the story of what you're saying is very, very helpful. You can't discount, we're visual people. People would rather look at something than read and listen. They want to look, right? So that visual aspect as well. Eventually you'll work your way up to kind of like a full promo set where you have your table throw, you know what I mean? The kind of like the tablecloth that has your business name printed on it, banners, posters, you know what I mean? You can get all of that kind of stuff. I would, again, that's like kind of like top of the line when you know that you're going to be doing multiple of these events and you are clear again on what you want to get out of the situation, right? So if I could say anything, I would say it is most important what you do and how you set up before you even go to the event, to have a clear goal of what you want to take away. And then from there, executing a strategy to hit that goal. I don't care what everybody else is doing, or they came for, the free happy hour or whatever. I came because I know that there are 3 of the top 10 realtors in my area that's going to be at this event. And I know they already got an inspector that they typically use, but I'm about to try to get in on that. I want to try to form a relationship with them, build rapport with them and see if I can't drum up some business with them. Okay. In terms of creating your marketing collateral, your business, your rack cards, postcards, that kinds of things. I've showed you how to do that. You could do it all in Canva. If you want to, you could use the templates, just change it, add your logo in there. You could also obviously use Fiverr and Upwork. I will say that you have to be careful because most often on those sites, they're using templates too. So your stuff is probably going to look like somebody else's. So that's something that you have to watch out for. And then also, on the back end, whatever your goal is and whatever call to action you give your people, make sure that you are set up on the back end to handle whatever it is. So if you told them to go to a site and leave their information, if you told them to go to a site and leave their information and they were going to get an email from you on this, that, the third, make sure that you have it set up on the back end that while they're, and it can't be something manual, right? Because you never know when people will go to the site. They may go later that night after they get done, whatever the case may be. It has to be set up that they will actually get what you promised them. Or if you told them that they got a coupon code, this, that, and the third, you need to be set up on the back end to actually fulfill and leverage your call to action. That is how you make the most of these situations, being strategic about your goal, what you want to accomplish, setting up a specific strategy, what you say, what you do, what you bring to accomplish that goal, and then being able to have the follow-up on the back end.